Shabnam, hi, and welcome to Procurement Central. We're going to discuss category management. It's great to have you with me. We've known each other for a long time now. And at the moment, perhaps you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your background. But you're here today to talk to me and share with me category management marketing. So maybe you could introduce yourself, but also perhaps if we kick off, you could just tell me a little bit about why marketing spend is the forbidden zone for procurement, why it's the holy grail. Lots of people say it's different here in marketing. Lots of people shy away from it. They don't get access to marketing. So what's different about the marketing category?
Hi, Steve. No, great to join you today, and thanks for having me. Part of this call. So it's an interesting subject, and a little bit about me. I've been managing sort of marketing procurement for about best part of sort of 10 years now, and it's just, it's something that kind of resonated with me. It's a category that I find of interest. It's like you say, it's not so much the forbidden fruit, but it's definitely a category that needs that little bit sort of a different approach, a more collaborative approach, I feel, and that's what will essentially make it a success. But I think the three key real areas that, if marketing sourcing managers were going to make it a success, would, really get to know the marketeers, the stakeholders, real engagement with them, and I think stakeholder management is huge in this particular category, more so I would say than other categories, because marketeers are very much about relationships. Yes. They're about building relationships. They have great relationships with agencies that they work with, and when procurement come along, they definitely need to build a relationship with marketing in order for it to be a success. So it's just knowing that that's going to take some time, and just having the right approach. So not going in there with the numbers, that quite assertive stroke borderline aggressive approach that procurement would normally take, is not really going to work for marketing. It's more about being collaborative, being consultative, and just really appreciating marketing as a category, and having sort of deep understanding, deep category knowledge on the category will put you in good stead. So I think that's definitely something that works. But along with a number of other things, like the fact that marketing is changing year on year. It's one of those categories that's ever evolving, ever widening in terms of its scope. But it's definitely a complex and changing category. So it always is good to know and be interested in the category. So you're researching all the time as a procurement manager, and knowing your field and knowing that expertise will definitely make you a success in this category.
It's an interesting point you make, because procurement like logic, they like, as you say, numbers and facts. And here we've got something and a category, a specialist function that talk about subliminal messages, unconscious messages, and the colors of logos, and all of these things, transmit for them messages to the client and to the customer. And as you say, it's a very different approach to when we think about what is value from the marketing suppliers, when we think about where the benefits are. It may not be, as you correctly say, in the traditional areas where we're looking for hard numbers, cost savings, for example. We're looking here, you know, for reach, for how we get to more customers, how brand identity, you know, these are all probably the KPIs, aren't they, that we should be focusing, or you do focus on in the marketing category, which are very, very different to probably some of our other categories that we work in.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, absolutely. I would 100% agree with that statement. And I think, you know, in order to be successful in this particular category, you have to know what are the KPIs, what are the objectives that marketing have, and having that appreciation and understanding of what exactly are marketing managers today striving towards. You know, is it reach? You know, as you say, is it, you know, strengthening the brand of a company? Is that one of their objectives? You know, for instance, you know, we've got some companies who are striving towards various awards, being the best brand in, you know, in the marketplace for their particular field, will give them great sort of, you know, scope in terms of winning new work, or just getting their brand out there. I think it's all about, you know, making sure that procurement understands and almost are working with the chief marketing officer in that particular company, and they become your objectives, you know, as a procurement manager, because you're almost translating then what value you as a function, as a support function, will bring to marketing. And that could transcend into, you know, maybe we bring value, you know, in terms of media, you know, instead, you know, you can negotiate more media, for instance, within a particular negotiation, where they can see the value that you're bringing. It doesn't have to always be cost savings.
No.
You know, so it's a lot of sort of models that you could use towards, you know, matching what objectives the marketeers have. You could easily source a new bit of technology that allows them to automate their processes. You know, it could be a lot of different things. And, you know, as I said before, marketing today doesn't just cover media, creative. It covers digital, it covers market research, it covers brand surveys, it covers a multitude of technologies that's ever changing. And it's just making sure that we're on the pulse with all these changes.
Yeah,
for marketers to appreciate.
Yeah, and thanks. And yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. And the final question I just had for you was back to your original comment about relationships. Another big strength for you is straddling, shall we say, the relationship that you've identified with marketing, but also with procurement, because, you know, procurement sometimes refer to the marketing category manager as going native, you know, they've gone over to the dark side. So it's always important, isn't it, to have a foot in both camp, in the sense of being able to turn this way and talk to procurement in a language that they'll understand, so they don't think it's all very soft and you know, unclear what the objectives are, and being able to, it's like a translator, I suppose, between marketing and procurement, if I can say that.
I mean, you that's right. I mean, it's having the ability to learn two languages, and, you know, to be able to then you know, almost when you're with the marketing stakeholders, it's being able to speak to them in the language that they're speaking. And a lot of that is, you know, there are a lot of acronyms, and there's all sorts to learn when you're managing this particular category. But at the same time, you have this other hat on, which is your procurement hat, and you have to then transcend and be able to show that these are the results that that you're getting from a procurement perspective. Although the savings are there if you're able to achieve those, but also being able to show the value that you're bringing to this particular category by managing it successfully. And again, that is making sure that the procurement officer or the chief procurement officer of that organization understands what it is that marketing is doing, what objectives it is that you're achieving with them, but at the same time, the value that you're bringing either through great KPIs within the contract or, great imaginative scorecards, and, various SLAs, because all of this is added value, and it is part of many negotiations that marketing, category managers have with agencies and various suppliers of this category. So it's being able to show the value. And I think sometimes, or a lot of the times, that's where maybe some of the mistakes can be made, is not being able to translate those figures, that value within procurement. And a lot of it is about education. It's education, educating your peers on this particular category, which not everybody understands.
Education for sure, and not thinking about one size fits all. Making sure that there is, as you said, imaginative scorecards. There's a very different way to measure the value with marketing than probably the traditional approach, the one process, the one size fits all that procurement may adopt. So as you say, it's having a much more of a broader view of what the benefits are from the marketing spend category.
That's right. I mean, I think it all ties in together. So if you can show the value quite early on, not just to procurement, but to, your stakeholders, that will absolutely help your relationship, because they will instantly be able to see the value that you're bringing them. And I feel that's always important when you're starting off, with a new set of stakeholders. They don't quite understand where you fit into the whole jigsaw. You're kind of you're trying to make a role for yourself, and it's not always great to just bombard them with numbers, because again, they'll have appreciation of a visual or a good set of telling your story, for instance. We all love a good story, so it's just being a bit more imaginative around how you tell that story, about how you can bring them the benefits that they absolutely need and would want. So it's all about selling those benefits of what you can bring in, from the first off, to get a step into that relationship and make it stronger in the long run.
Shabnam, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and it's been fascinating to get your insights into marketing category management. So thank you very much for your time. We will be having the Category Management International Roundtable on March the 11th. And no doubt you and I will be talking again and discussing this subject matter very soon. But for now, thank you very much and best wishes.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks very much.